Hello everyone and welcome to Talk of the Town. My name's Karen Bukes and I'm your host for the evening. Who ordered this cold? Do you see how I'm dressed? A turtleneck, long sleeves? I froze all day today. Come on, we need our spring. You watch. It's going to go from this to 90-degree weather. Mark my word. Let's welcome some of our underwriters. Stoll's Cafe in Manamet. They make the most delicious sandwiches, salads, soups. It's fabulous. Evolution Salon. You should see this salon. It's gorgeous. Right there on 3A, heading to the Canal, of which we're going to talk about tonight. One Stop Painting with Jeff Cohen's company, and they do great work. Brewster PC Solutions. Wrestling has a show right here on PAC TV. Please tune in. You'll learn a lot. And attorney Trifletti and Costa on Long Pond Road. Great attorneys. And our very first underwriter, Kevin and David Gallerani, owners of Cape Auto Body and Service. Locations are Samoset and Sandwich Street right here in Plymouth. And they're wonderful, and I miss Dave. I miss seeing David. Seems now I only see him at town meeting. Well, tonight we're going to be talking about the Cape Cod Canal, and it's celebrating a huge event. Here to explain the Cape Cod Canal Centennial are two guests. Both are helping to put this wonderful 100-year event together. And believe me, it's got to be a huge task. Please welcome Managing Director Susan Wentworth and President of the Maritime Academy, Admiral Rick Gurnon.
Glad to be with you, Karen.
Oh, it's our pleasure. I am thrilled you're here. We're honored to have you both here. And I know a lot of hard work went into this, and I want you to tell our viewers all about it. It's a 100-year Canal Centennial, and let me start with Sue, if that's okay with you, Admiral. Sue, you know, you and I are good friends. We've known each other for a long time, and I'm very proud of you. Tell our viewers a little bit about your background, and we'll go from there.
Okay. I had been working for an investment firm at home to raise my kids for about 13 years. I had basically had enough of that, and I really wanted to see some people and get out into the community more. So I started working part-time at Edaville Railroad and in Carver, and then that turned into being a general manager's position. Ended up being there about 10 years, learned a lot about events and logistics and permits and all of the ugly stuff that happens behind the scenes of all of these events that people never see. When I was working on that, got connected with Ollie DiMacedo. We all love the DiMacedos here in Plymouth. I started working on the America's Hometown Thanksgiving celebration on a real small scale. Went up to the Paragon Carousel at Nantasket Beach. All of these great events and places that people have all of these memories that go with. Everything is, I remember when I was a kid, and I remember when my dad took me here, and all of that. Each different point of my career, I've been kind of connected with that type of thing. So, so I left the carousel and really kind of got into more of the America's Hometown Thanksgiving celebration and doing smaller events kind of on my own. Started my own company and started doing that, and it's been great.
Well, that Thanksgiving parade is just one of the best, don't you think?
Absolutely, and I think that's the event that parallels to this so much. It's huge. There's so many different components to it, so many amazing people involved. It's all volunteers. Everything is great. Okay,
now, how did you become involved with this event? First, tell the people, Admiral, too, you two, tell the people what this is all about in regards to how we're going to celebrate the canal.
About 3 years ago, a number of people in Bourne came together and said, we need to plan for the centennial of the canal. And to be honest, most people said, I didn't know it was 100 years old. But we looked at an event that celebrated the 50th anniversary and saw that it was a big deal. So we began to plan. All volunteers, all people with regular jobs, and over the course of the 3 years, we came up with a show. We also knew that we couldn't do it without some expertise. Cue Sue, and her executive ability has been able to knit all these loose ends into a really great tapestry of a show. This is going to be a lot of fun this summer.
I know, and I can't wait for that. But, you know, what boggles my mind, this is not easy to do. I mean, you're involved with 2 other towns also.
Right.
And you have to bring them all together. I imagine you have committees and boards and overseers and tell us.
We do. We have a steering committee that Rick and Maria Leva, who's the CEO and president of the Cape Cod Canal Chamber, they both chair that committee. That is made up of members from the Sandwich Chamber, from the Bourne Historic Society, from the Cape Cod Chamber, all of the people that you really want to be involved in that. So they kind of, you know, the steering committee does exactly that. They steer the other committees to what needs to be done. Fabulous events committee. We just put on a great gala. It was really fun at Mass
Tell
Maritime.
us about, I read about that. It was called the
Blending of the Waters.
Blending of the Waters. Tell us about that.
It was a very unique event. Having it at Mass Maritime in the new, it's an ABS. building, brand new building. It's gorgeous, couple of different floors, and we were able to use the simulator at Mass Maritime, which was really great. It was you don't get to do stuff like that at events. People were able to tour the Kennedy. The ship, the training ship there, big beautiful ship. We also had Nina Held Weber, is someone who has been collecting all of her life different memorabilia from the Cape Cod Canal, and Mass Maritime, obviously headed up with Rick, put together this gorgeous around the library system, enlarged the photos, put all of her collectibles in glass cases and all that kind of thing, and that's actually we you know, did the ribbon cutting and everything for the gala, but that's going to be a piece of our event too. So the event's going to be from July 25th until August 3rd, and that display people will be able to just go in and see that and tell the history.
Will tell us the other things that perhaps we can buy tickets to or go, you know, and then tell us about the free events.
No, actually, everything's free now. Yeah. The gala was a fundraiser, so we put that party on, and the Blending of the Waters really relates back to the time when August Belmont took water from Cape Cod Bay and took water from Buzzards Bay and opened the dike and poured them together. So he really made that connection. Now, you couldn't run ships through at that point. You still had to widen, deepen, and continue to dig. But that marked the point where the waters from Buzzards Bay and Cape Cod Bay began to intermingle. So we put on a gala. Some people dressed in period costumes, so they were wearing clothes from the 1920s. We had a band that would play songs from the 20s straight through current music. It was a lot of fun. Food was great, and the setting was wonderful. And as Sue said, we had an opportunity to show off our $2 million Xbox 360, which is our ship simulator. But it was a fun event. I think it exceeded all of our expectations, and we made money. And that allowed us, plus with donations from a number of great sponsors, that allows us to put the rest of the events on for free.
That's wonderful. Can people like myself donate?
Absolutely.
We have a website, I believe.
The Cape Cod Canal Centennial.org website does have a spot in there that you'd be able to click in and donate, or you can call the Cape Cod Canal Chamber.
Okay.
I have this number in my head, but I can't pull it out.
Okay.
You can call them, and they'll be really helpful with where you can send it. 70 Main Street in Buzzards Bay is the office for the Cape Cod Canal Chamber, and we use that as kind of our mailing address for the centennial also.
And it's a 501c3, so it's a charitable donation.
Yes, I know, and that's a wonderful thing. So any donations, any in-kind contributions, it's a 501c3. C3, and I just can't imagine putting this together. Now, the 400th here is coming up.
Right.
And the same thing will have to be done. So you started 3 years ago?
We did, but like any big project, you break it into pieces. So you have a planning committee that works out where the porta potties are going to go and how many you need, and then you have a safety committee that works out, okay, where does the fire station need to go, and how do you make sure that in the event of crowds, police can respond. And so as you get volunteers to work on these small pieces, then the whole comes together.
Right.
The events committee came up with, and it was just brainstorming at the time, wouldn't it be great if we had tall ships? Wouldn't it be great if we had tugboats? Wouldn't it be great if we had fireworks? The task is to put all that together. And
you did. Tell everyone.
We did. Yes,
Tell everyone
we did.
What you did and what we can look forward to with that.
We were, I had lunch with David Mugar, who is connected with Star Markets, but he also puts on the 4th of July fireworks display in Boston through a company called Atlas Pyrovision in New Hampshire, Jaffrey, New Hampshire. And I had lunch with him, and I said, wouldn't this be wonderful? Fireworks for the centennial of the Cape Cod Canal. And he looked at me with a cocked eye and said, yeah, right. I said, I promise you, I will not ask again for another 100 years. And he said, all right, you got me. So he is putting on the fireworks. And at first, we had just planned a couple of barges at the Mashney Island, so at the western end of the Cape Cod Canal, shooting off fireworks from a fixed barge. And we were always hoping that the Corps of Engineers would allow us to shoot fireworks, or pyrotechnics, to be careful with my words, to shoot pyrotechnics off of the railroad bridge. And they had declined. And they continued to say, we don't want to do that, we don't want to do that. And we were able to, through a lot of persuasive explanations, and through a demo that we had just the other day, we actually brought the pyro people down. They shot off some pyrotechnics off the bridge. And we got the Corps of Engineers to agree. So on that night, on Tuesday, the 29th of July, the actual 100th anniversary of the first ships transiting the canal from Sandwich to Buzzards Bay, from Cape Cod Bay through Buzzards Bay. On that evening, we'll be setting off fireworks both on the railroad bridge and off of barge.
Oh, I'm going to be there. I'm with my sister.
It ought to be spectacular.
Yeah.
It's going to be spectacular. Bring a picnic lunch. Are you going to have food?
We're going to have an event all day long. So we're going to start with some dignitary events that will start at about 2 o'clock.
Okay.
And there'll be some speakers and that type of thing. But we also have the Youth Cape Cod Youth Cape Cod Symphony that's going to be coming. And this is your baby.
This is really neat. So we knew that just talking heads at an event is not going to work. You need musical interludes. So we approached the Cape Cod Symphony, and they said, we have a better idea than professional musicians. What about youth musicians? What about some of the best talented youth in the Cape Cod, New Bedford, and Plymouth area?
Just gave me the chills.
And what if they performed some musical selections? So we said, that'd be great. So they put together a terrific show. If you have not been to the Cape Cod Symphony down in Hyannis, you need to go. It is truly a spectacular set of events. And they are putting together invitation only for youth musicians. They're going to practice Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday at the Maritime Academy, so they'll be staying in our dorms. And then they will put on a show on Tuesday afternoon for everybody. Siobhan Magnus is going to sing.
Oh my goodness!
And she's going to sing Old Cape Cod, which to me is a total opposites. She doesn't strike me as an old Cape Cod type singer, but it's one of her favorite tunes. So.
Now, where does the 2 p.m. event kick off?
That's going to be right on Main Street in Buzzards Bay,
where they have the Scallop Festival.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Okay.
Right at the foot of the railroad bridge.
Okay.
Yep.
So those type of events are going to kind of go from 2 to 4. So there'll be speakers and there'll be the symphony. We also have a group that put together, another nonprofit group, that made a beautiful bronze statue that is dedicated to all of the fishermen in the area. And that's going to be something to be seen. It's really, really beautiful. And they have been working on that for a number of years too. The statue has been made. It's being bronzed now. I think they're still raising some funds too, and I think you can get information about that through our website also. But they're making a brick patio around it. People are able to buy bricks and dedicate them to family members, or say whatever you want on them, and so that will help them raise the rest of the money to get. They're going to be transporting the statue to Buzzards Bay Park, and that will be permanently there. The brick patio will also be there forever. We're going to, after the statue is dedicated, we'll start with a parade of tugboats. So starting from Mass Maritime Academy, they'll be going all the way down out to Cape Cod Bay, turning around and coming back again. So people will be able to see them all through.
Will they have the flourish of water cannon? Oh, I love that.
And we have some mini tugboats. I know you've seen one of them in Plymouth Harbor.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah. So there's a few of them too that are going to be there. So Scruffy, the tugboat, you remember him from the old storybook? He's going to be there also. So
the children will love that.
Right. So all day long, it's going to be an old Cape Cod theme. So there's going to be reenactors that are going to be kind of roaming the area. There's going to be artisans that are specific to either old Cape Cod or canal artwork and that type of thing. Also, the food, we're not doing a whole bunch of like food trucks. We want people to wander away from Buzzards Bay Park too, just so, to be clear, we want to bring people down so that they can experience the entire area. And that's really the point of the entire Centennial, is to celebrate this, but also to bring commerce into an area that people just drive over all the time. Nobody really, stops and really pays attention. Good. I'm glad, because there's a lot to be seen there, and I think that
there's a lot of good antiquing there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the National Marine Center is down there too, and they actually are helping out a huge sea turtle now, rehabilitating a sea turtle. And they're going to be running programs the whole week. But to be specific, on the 29th, because I could go off on days
Saturday?
Tuesday.
A Tuesday, okay.
Right. But that's the actual date of the Centennial. So we're going with that.
All right.
And we have such a huge interest in people coming down. We know there's going to be tons and tons of people.
I'm going to have to go to my sister. She's in Buzzards Bay. I'm going to have to go to her house and get there by what, 12? 11?
Probably.
No, 12 will work.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people kind of have the questions of where am I going to park, and is this going to cause traffic problems, and all of these things. It's a one-year event. We're doing everything that we can. I have to say, one of the committees that impresses me the most is the logistics committee. I'm the only person sitting in there without a badge and a gun. We have the harbor masters from both sides, the police officers from all three towns, firefighters from all three towns, Army Corps of Engineer, Coast Guard. Everybody is really engaged with taking care of those problems. And Charlie Noyes is actually the emergency management coordinator for Bourne, and he used to be the police chief there. And very, very knowledgeable, and we really have a good crew. So I think that everything's going to go well. Same thing as the Thanksgiving celebration or anything else. You want to plan ahead and make sure that you're, patient enough. You're not going to zip in, get into the first parking lot at Buzzards Bay Park probably, but it's going to be worth it, and it's going to be a great time.
But the canal's 6 miles long, and there are two sides.
I know, but
So
I
there
want to
really
be
are
in the
lots
best
of access
spot.
points.
I just don't want.
You're going to be, especially with the fireworks, you're going to be able to see them from a huge distance. They're not like a fireworks display that you see in the different towns. This is like the big Boston type of display.
All right, so Karen, you can drive on the Academy. You can park in the President's Visitor spot. There's only one reserved spot on the campus. I give it to you.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Did you hear that, Kenny? I'm writing that down. So I have
President Visitor spot.
President Visitors.
I don't have a spot, but the visitor's got a spot.
Yeah.
You don't have a spot.
You got a spot and an ornament, Karen.
Oh, I want you to talk about. Look at this. Is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I don't know if you can, see how beautiful it is on the television screen or not, but
it's glass.
The Glass Studio of Cape Cod, Michael Magar, who's a well-known glass blower in the area.
That's gorgeous.
He's been making these for us, and it's been a really big hit. It has a medallion in the middle that says the Cape Cod Canal, and it gives the years of the centennial. And they're all numbered, so it's a collectible item. We've sold about 500 of them already.
Gorgeous.
So that's something that you can get on our website, and there's a lot of different businesses that are getting together with us and helping us out, and we're all kind of swapping resources, but like Lisa Lane Gift Shops is right there down there on Business Bay Park, and the National Marine Life Center, they have them. They have some tote bags that we have our logos on, and some magnets that are the same type of thing, and sweatshirts and t-shirts.
So
and all
you
that
have
kind of
a
thing.
magnet too, like this. Oh, I'm going to have
Absolutely.
to. Yeah.
And some keychains that are collectible keychains. They give kind of a brief summary of what the events are and when they are. So those are all on our website, and then there's some stores that are taking part, and also people are coming in, like Nasser Jewelers has made a special bracelet. So and the proceeds, some of the proceeds come to the Centennial too. It's like the Cape Cod type bracelets that have the solid oval.
My sister and I will get one.
And then it has an oval in the middle, and they can go from $30 to $125 depending upon what type of metal you want, and and what you want the look to be. But they make them right there at Nasser Jewelers, so that's something. And Pearpoint Glassworks is also doing some glass items with our logo on them.
I can't believe I have a parking spot.
I know.
This is awesome. Now,
you're going to be in trouble with a lot of people now.
I only have one to give away, so I'm done.
He was just on Chronicle, and he didn't give one.
No,
I
know.
did not.
Talk about Chronicle. You were on,
I was.
and I saw the beginning of it, and explain to us. I think it's wonderful that they took that time, because it is so important, and they came down. Where did they interview you?
On the canal.
On the canal.
This was typically Chronicle does main streets and back roads. And this was a little different in that the street was the canal. And of course, if you're on a boat, it makes perfect sense. That's the street it's a shortcut between New York and Boston. So we put them on one of our training ships, an 80-footer, not the big one. And we transited the canal. So we went from Buzzards Bay to Sandwich, turned around and came back. And they were interviewing me, and they were filming what you can see from the water as you transit the canal. But I'll tell you that Stella, who was the executive producer, worked really hard. She spent an entire week. She did a lot of work, interviewed people throughout town, interviewed fishermen, interviewed the owner of the Mezzaluna.
Oh, sure. I love the Mezzaluna.
And it was a great article. It was a great 30 minutes of television.
That's wonderful. I have it at home, and I will watch it. And but see, it's things like that, and that's things like that we have to do here. You know, for our 400th. I'm sure we will, right, Sue?
Absolutely. I get to be involved with that one too.
Now, it's 8:25, and we have a short 5-minute video that you brought, which is really, really terrific. Kenny, can you get that set up? And I want to thank Dustin here at PAC TV for fixing the machine that it's going in because it had broken down. And Dustin, thank you so much. That's what they are here. They're so good. PAC TV.
Fixers.
The staff is fabulous here. You ready? See you on the other side.
A celebration of ingenuity and an idea that challenged generations.
Way back in Pilgrim days, Miles Standish figured that it would be a lot easier for him to have a canal between Plymouth and Uptuxet so that he wouldn't have to carry all the trade goods on his back. And he wished that we could dig a canal. Way back in 1630, George Washington figured this would be a good program for New England to connect the two busiest ports at that time, Boston and New York. And it would save sailing around the dangerous Outer Cape. All of them wished that they could dig a canal. The Outer Cape, flat, windswept, difficult to navigate, was a graveyard for ships in those 1800s. And it wasn't until 1914 when August Belmont and his team were able to actually dig this canal that the wishes for the hundreds of years before that could finally come true.
100 years later, we celebrate that ingenuity, the technical marvel of its day, the dreamers and brave individuals who fought to create in their day the award-winning civil engineering landmark, the Cape Cod Canal.
Now, the canal is an amazing commercial waterway. If you stand on the banks of the canal, you'll see tugs and barges, but you'll also see thousands of pleasure craft making the connection between Buzzards Bay and Cape Cod Bay. You'll see giant yachts, you'll see sailboats, but you'll also see lobster boats and fishing boats as they move between New Bedford and whatever fishing grounds happens to be open and productive at the time. This is an unbelievable recreational and commercial resource for all of us.
Come celebrate the canal's 100th birthday from July 25th through August 4th as the community comes together to herald this landmark's birthday.
This centennial celebration is a once-in-a-100-year event. It's been 100 years in the making. And it's so exciting for our region. When you think about it, the canal itself had so much to do with a breakthrough in commerce for southeastern Massachusetts. I was thinking that our bank was actually 59 years old when they finished the canal. And so we were very collectively excited about what it would do to this area, and has continued to do. It has continued to provide economic development, and it's been a wonderful source of recreational opportunities. And so this canal celebration is a terrific reflection on all of that, and allowing us all to celebrate all those wonderful opportunities it has given to our area. And in a way, it's bringing the communities on both sides of the canal together. As a business that does business with communities on both sides of the canal, we think of this as a wonderful unifying moment for the region.
We hope that this centennial celebration will attract hundreds of thousands from across New England. We're going to have a gala. We're going to have a parade of lights where pleasure craft lit up will traverse the canal in the evening. We're going to have fireworks, the same fireworks crew that sets off the Esplanade 4th of July fireworks. We're going to have a blessing of the fleet, a concert by the Youth Orchestra of Cape Cod with a piece specifically designed for the 100th anniversary. This is going to be great fun.
On July 26th and 27th, come visit and take a tour of the newly renovated and last whale ship of its kind, the Charles W. Morgan.
We felt that we just had to be part of this celebration because as a community bank, we felt that it was just right that we be part of a community celebration. And I know that other businesses in the area are as excited about this as we are, because with their support, this can truly be a community-wide celebration that really makes it onto a national scale.
that was wonderful.
That was a great piece that was done by Tom Chartrand. He's out of Marion. It's kind of a one-man band. Shoreline Video, I believe, is the name of the company. But he's so talented, and that's something again that our partnership with the Cape Cod Chamber has helped out a lot, because we received some funding through Massachusetts Office of Tourism, through Cape Cod, to be able to produce that, because that's something you want to do at a quality level, to be able to tell people what the story is. And he did a phenomenal job with the help of our new executive director for the Plymouth 400th. She was the one who gave him all the material, wrote scripts and everything for it. So
nice.
Michelle Pecoraro gets an Atta Girl. It's an Atta Girl.
That's wonderful. Well, that. Just looking at that is very exciting. You want to be there. You want to go.
Well, it's bigger than that. We since that was filmed, we also have the U.S. Coast Guard training ship Eagle. So all 325 feet of her.
Wow.
So we've got the Charles W. Morgan, the world's oldest still sailing whale ship. We've got the Kalmar Nickel. Most people don't know that the Kalmar Nickel is to Delaware as the Mayflower is to Plymouth.
Really?
So she brought European settlers to the Delmar Peninsula.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we also have Mystic, which is a square rig topsail schooner who's coming in. So from the 24th, 25th of July straight through the 3rd of August, there'll be ships tied up at the Academy that you can tour. And you'll get a chance to really see the canal. If you all you've done is driven over it and cursed the traffic, you've missed a really amazing waterway.
It is. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to tell you, there's going to be millions coming. They're going to come from everywhere.
Well, they are going to come from everywhere, because we've been working on something that we've been working really hard on, is the international and national marketing in the last few years. And we can tell from our website hits and everything. And, we're getting hits from Taiwan and Japan and Alaska and everywhere. Because we have such great partners. Destination Plymouth has been an enormous...
Paul Cripps.
Paul Cripps and Paula Fisher, that they bring all of our materials, and the Cape Cod Chamber does. They go to so many different trade shows for groups and for domestic travelers, that international and domestic, that we were able to use that resource, which a lot of people don't have, to get the word out, and people from all over know about it.
Do we have enough hotels? I bet a lot stay here in Plymouth.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely.
Oh, a lot of people who visit the Maritime Academy stay in Plymouth.
Sure. So I think I know it's going to be a boon to the economy.
Absolutely. It's going to be great for restaurants in the area. It's going to be great for the attractions. It's going to be great for the hotels. Tourism is always... an amazing thing for the economy, that sometimes it gets overlooked, but
it should never be overlooked.
In this area, it is very, very strong. So.
It's very strong, and that's who we are, and
we know how to do it in this area. The Cape knows how to do it, the Canal knows how to do it, and Plymouth knows how to do it.
Right.
We know how to host tours.
Oh my goodness! Now, is Paul going to help you at all? Be down there, or is
Paul Cripps?
Yeah.
Paula Fisher has been really hands-on with helping us. Paul's always a great support. And like I said, the Sandwich Chamber and the Wareham is celebrating an anniversary. They have a 275th anniversary that's going on. So they have a whole string of events that's going to be going on before us. They're more in June, but we have all of their events listed on our webpage too, because people are getting interested in this area and coming not just for that week. They're coming for other events also. So there's a lot of events in the area that are on our website.
And Sandwich is 375th. So Sandwich, Wareham, and Bourne.
They'll be staying at cottages, hotels, motels, wherever they can stay. I predict we're going to run out of room.
That Jack Conway and Associates. That would be a great problem. Jack Conway and Associates has partnered with us also and able to help people with that kind of cottages and just different places besides your hotels and motels to stay here.
And Cape Cod Travel Guide, 100-Year Celebration, what a beautiful book this is.
We made the cover of that one. We made the cover of this Points East, which is great. But we also made the cover of Cape Cod Life, which I don't have a picture of it here.
I love
and that was
Cape Cod Life.
Yeah, Cape Cod Life. We have. We're going to be in the AAA Horizons Chronicle. I mean,
that's fabulous.
There's an amazing amount of interest. Our media partners too have been so strong. The Cape Cod Times, Wicked Local. And South Coast Media. So we've really been able to hit all of the areas around us through our media partners. It's been great.
So when this first came up, you put an application in for a job. Mm-hmm. They interviewed you and said, "What's not to love?"
Well, Marie Leva was kind of one of the people that was kind of out looking for different people. It's a strange skill set that only a few of us probably in the area have, to be able to balance the money end of it and the volunteer end of it and the event planning and stuff like that. But it's nothing that anybody can do alone. Like, this is absolutely all about just directing teams of people in different subcommittees to do what they need to do, and that's what we've got going for us with this event here. People are really working hard to do it.
How many people do you think
that are on our committees right now?
Yeah,
we got to be about 100.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's like rowing a boat. If everyone pulls on their oar at the same time, we make a lot of progress.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I love it. And which brings me to, I want to ask this question. What was the name of your ship or ships that you were on?
Well, I went to Canoe U. I went to the Naval Academy, and all I wanted to do when I was a boy was fly. So I wanted to go to flight school more than anything. So I was on the Lexington, but I was only on for short periods of time as we were coming and going. Then I flew throughout the Atlantic hunting Russian submarines. Nowadays terrorists are the big threat to our country. Yeah. When I was young, it was Russian submarines. So finding and hunting them were the goal, and I loved it. And I did it for 15 years or so. But when you begin to have children, your priorities change. Mm-hmm. So I came ashore, got off active duty, still flew out of Weymouth in the reserves,
sure.
But I went to work at Maritime. That was 37 years ago.
You washed ashore.
I did.
37 years ago, and you love it here.
I do. I grew up on the North Shore in Everett and Danvers.
Sure.
So I knew I wanted to come back to Massachusetts.
Yeah.
But for the first 8 or 9 years of our married life, my wife and I lived in Spain and Sicily and the Azores and Bermuda. We lived in Texas, Florida, Virginia, Maryland, Maine, Rhode Island. So we traveled a lot. And
what was your
nice.
Favorite?
Sicily, because I think it was so novel. I spoke a little Italian at the time. I spoke Spanish, so I could get along. And it was just so different from what I had been used to in America.
Yeah.
And we got to travel too. Sicily was close. We saw the sunrise on the Acropolis. We rode camels in North Africa. We took a train to Switzerland and skied the Alps. So Sicily was the most fun.
You've had a rich life, a very good life, and now you're the head of Maritime Academy, which is a stellar school. If any of you parents out there, your children are doing well, you want to send them to an excellent school, that's the school. I've always said it. Mm-hmm. And you have high standards.
We do. The push nowadays is to talk about science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM. We're 100% STEM. We're nothing but bachelor of science degrees. Everybody takes chemistry. Everybody takes physics. Good. Everybody takes calculus. So it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the academically unprepared. Another move afoot is interns and co-ops. 100% of our students are involved in interns, co-ops, or C-time. So we've been doing this for a long time. The rest of higher education is coming around to our way of modeling the education
I read
experience.
That, yes.
So it's nice to finally get some recognition. I'll tell you, for the 37 years I was working there, I think for the first 30, we were the best kept secret in Massachusetts.
I know.
Now all of a sudden the secret's out.
The secret's out, and it shouldn't be a secret. Now, didn't you come in the top in New England schools?
Bill Bennett, Secretary of Education under Reagan, wrote a book called the 150, Is College Worth Going To? And he listed 150 colleges that he thought were the only ones worth going to. And Massachusetts Maritime was the only public university in New England that made his list.
Wow.
So that was a thrill for us. And then they began to rank colleges differently. So U.S. News and World Report every fall puts out their college lists and ranks colleges. And sometimes it's how much ivy is on your walls and how much is your endowment and what's your giving rate for alumni. Some odd facts and figures and data. But Money Magazine and PayScale approached it differently, and they said, what's the return on investment?
Yes.
And so a little bit like what Bill Bennett was saying, is it worth it?
Yes.
Is a college education worth it? And I want to tell everybody that it is.
Yeah.
All factors point to it's worth it, but some are more worth it than others. And when you are 100% STEM, and when you feed an industry that we feed, the maritime business, it pays well. So we hire PhDs from MIT at $65,000 a year, and our students graduating typically make more than that in their first job.
Yes.
So it's an exciting place to work. But when Money Magazine and PayScale ranked return on investment, Massachusetts Maritime ended up number 3 in the country, behind Colorado School of Mines and Georgia Tech. So
Georgia Tech.
We're up there.
Well, congratulations, you deserve it.
It's the team, and they worked hard to get there.
I just can't imagine what it is to run that. Can you, Sue? I mean, it's a lot. And I'm sure you have a wonderful staff and great professors there, Malcolm McGregor, of which is one.
Yes.
And I think that's fantastic. Now, you and Ron have boys in the service.
We have one in the Navy right now.
One in the Navy.
Yeah. We also have one that is interested in going in the Coast Guard. She's going to graduate next year, and she's going to go. She got accepted into a camp for over the summer to learn more about it. But she's very, very interested in going into the Coast Guard.
Was Ron, who was sitting in the booth, was he ever in?
Nope. No, he wasn't. He's been working hard.
Oh, good.
Started out in culinary school and then decided to be a carpenter, and he's been running ever since. So
and he's one of
fixing everything.
The best. He put your floors in, and they're gorgeous. Yeah,
good worker.
He is. So what do we have left here? We are going to. This starts. Actually, 29th of July is on the. In Buzzards Bay on Main Street.
Right.
But the 26th is when you can tour that ship.
Right. Friday the 25th, the Eagle will arrive, as will the Charles W. Morgan.
Landed,
right,
yes.
The Eagle. So they'll be open for touring, and the Academy training ship, the Kennedy, will also be open.
Now, is that free?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's excellent. We've been very lucky with our sponsors and our donors, supporters. Also, very, very lucky with in-kind, Mass Maritime being the biggest one, obviously, to be able to, you know, where else are you going to get the dock space to do this? Where else are you going to have the connections to talk to the tugboats to get that to happen and everything? So we've been very lucky raising money and connecting with the right people to get all of this this done. But it's going to go from the 25th through the 3rd, and the 29th is really kind of the center of it, because that's the day that is the actual centennial. But everyone in the area is kind of getting involved. I mean, we have the Beverly Yacht Club is doing a big sailing race. Cape Cod Baseball League is going to have their All-Star game.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, so that's going to happen on the 27th.
I bet George is
actually,
there.
the field overlooks the canal.
Yeah.
Where the All-Star game's going to be played.
Yeah. So, in the Bourne Society for Historic Preservation, they're on the other side of the Bourne Bridge. They are doing a big music fest, and it's going to be great. They have all different types of music. They're going to start out, early 1900s and move their way all the way till now throughout the day. So that's going to be great. The Parade of Lights is all, anybody can enter and decorate their boats. And we, again, start at Mass Maritime Academy, go all the way down to Sandwich, turn around and come back. But we really haven't even gotten the word out on that except for what it is. And we already have like 35, 40 boats that are registered to do this. So it is going to explode when we tell everybody.
Yeah.
And that'll be great because you can bring the family down, bring picnic, bring ice cream, sit on the banks of the canal. Most people don't realize that the Cape Cod Canal is one of the few places in the world where you can sit on a picnic blanket and carry on a conversation with a crew member from the Bahamas with a ship that's registered in Panama, carrying fuel oil to Boston, and wave to them and ask them how their day's going. An operating ship, not tied up, an operating ship in deep water.
Right.
And you're on your picnic blanket.
Yes, and we wave to them, and they're great. They are really great. We, the parking areas along down there, and we'll pull in because we hear the train whistle, and we'll pull in to be in the parking lot to see it, go across and.
And that's going to be one way that you can see the canal.
That's right.
And another way is Highline Cruises is going to be doing. They're one of our sponsors also.
Really?
They're going to be doing cruises that are going through. The Pilgrim Aviation does flights
How
over the
much
canal.
is the cruise? You don't know yet.
Not off the top of my head. I don't know. Yeah.
So you go to the website. I'm going to have to go and, just nose around and check it out.
Yeah, there's a lot of information in there, and really what we've tried to do is kind of give just a bullet list of what it is and link you to the right place of where you need to be. So you can get on there, click on Highline Cruises, you'll get over to there and you'll get that information. Same thing with the Cape Cod Central Railroad. They're going to do special trips. They're actually going to have a train that comes up for the fireworks, so people want to get on the train down the Cape and come up and not deal with the traffic and everything. They can help them out with that. And then also they're going to do narrations throughout on that too.
So I wonder if we go by boat or what? I will
plane, or we're exploring helicopters. There's helicopters that we're looking to have that would be landing at the baseball field at Mass Maritime Academy. So we're working out the last details of that happening. So those things would be fees, but those are all things you get to choose whether you want to do or not. Basically, the activities. I mean, even the music festival, the tours, all of that stuff. It's all free. So,
but it is within walking distance. I mean, you can.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, walking, people do it all the time, walking from one end of the canal to the other. Sandwich 375th has some really great events going on, too. They have a Sea Fest that's going on July 26th that's really kind of part of our events. We're all partnering together to help each other, but they're going to have a big clam bake and concerts and all that kind of thing. Then on August 3rd, they're also doing another big event, which is the next weekend, that they're going to have hot air balloons and that type of entertainment at. So it's going to be the happening place.
It is. This summer is going to be probably the busiest that the canal has been in 100 years.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh my! And that film.
And you have your parking space.
And I have my parking space. I cannot believe that. It just tripped out of your tongue. It was like gold. And you couldn't believe what I was hearing there. And I just forgot what I was going to say because I'm so excited about it. But where are you going to park?
I am actually staying at the campground, the Bourne Scenic Campground, and I'm going to bike it. So I'll be biking around. I'm not worried about a parking space. I'm going to stick my bike in your office.
You can.
Yeah, we've got 2 bikes too. Kenny, can you get on your bike? I know I can. Yeah.
Bourne Scenic Park is a great place.
It is.
That is
Absolutely.
right on the banks of the canal. You can.
I take the dinner train from there.
Yep.
And down at Scottsdale Beach, they're doing some family fun days that are going on down there. There's also tours. The Army Corps of Engineers has a great information center right down at the Sandwich Marina. And Samantha Gray is the ranger down there, and she's very, very knowledgeable, and she does a lot of kids programs, a lot of hikes for all different ages. So all of that is all still going on, and it's all really themed for the centennial.
It's going to be wonderful.
And I want to give Samantha Gray a plug. She has been with us for 3 years. She does all the notes for all of our meetings, and she represents the Corps of Engineers at this event. And you got to recognize that the Corps of Engineers owns the canal. This is theirs. They run it, they maintain it. And we are a giant pain to them because we are about to clog up all of their canals. So they could have made this difficult for us. They could have said, no, we're not having tugboat parades.
PR, though.
Well, but understandably, I mean, they're a government agency. They don't get paid by the number of extra tourists that they have. And we are definitely clogging their canal. And they have been outstanding. They have been very cooperative, from the Parade of Lights to the docking of tall ships to the tugboat parade to the up and down of the railroad bridge for the trains. They want this to be a success. And I want people to know that they have worked hard at making this a good summer for all of us.
Well, the Army Corps of Engineers are very special. And they are to be lauded because what they do many things, and people don't know really a lot about them. It's like the Coast Guard. I adore the Coast Guard. I think the Coast Guard's fabulous. And your budgets have all been slashed, which is terrible. And we just need more of you. That's my feeling. But
and they're the ones who have been chronicling the last 100 years too. Like the Bourne Archives has a lot of information, and the Sandwich Historic Society has a lot of information. But through Samantha, we were able to do a great display that's been up at the State House right outside of Terry Murray's office, and about 30 different pictures that they took. Glass plate negatives from and blown up, so they're beautiful, clear pictures that you would never be able to get.
I didn't see, those were first timers for me.
Right.
Those photos on the video.
A lot of them were from Nina Weber's collection. Now, this woman lives in Falmouth, and she has been collecting Cape Cod Canal memorabilia her whole life. And she tells a great story of when she was a little girl, and her parents would wake her up and run down to the canal to watch the New York boat go through at night. And she tells it like it happened yesterday.
Sure.
And so any memorabilia that involves the canal or the Cape Cod boat, the New York boat, it's in her collection. And we've got a lot of it, not all of it, because it wouldn't fit in our library, but we've got a lot of it on display now in our library right there on the campus. Again, open and free. Yeah,
she'll probably will it to the Maritime,
I think probably Historic New England or an area that can certainly preserve it and keep it.
But those are the great stories too, like we're seeing through our Facebook page and that type of thing. A lot of, and this is kind of where my career has been going. We do.
Say it.
Yeah, it's the Cape Cod. You just search Cape Cod Canal Centennial.
Okay.
And we have Twitter and Facebook, and so it's great to get the personal connection that people have, because even when I started, I was like, oh, it's a canal, so what? And then you hear all of the different stories that people have and their memories, and just like Edaville, just like the Thanksgiving celebration, people have their own touch on it, and it's great.
I can't wait to go, and it's really, I don't want to wish my summer away if we ever get one, but I will be there, and my sister and brother-in-law will be there. I'm sure George and his family, my daughter Corrine and the kids will be there, and the whole world is coming in, and I just, I can't imagine. It's going to be wall to wall.
It's going to be great. It's going to be once in 100 years. We're not going to see it again, that's for sure.
My hay fever's got to me.
And then, it's funny because, you don't think Stop and Shop is one of our sponsors because they're 100 years old this year. FST is an engineering company that actually started with the Cape Cod Canal, and they're still in business. And they're a sponsor too, and they're
celebrating 100 years.
They're celebrating 100 years too. So
Stop and Shop?
Yep.
Stop and Shop, and it was a Face,
Spofford and Thorndike, FSP.
They're an engineering company that engineered the canal.
Yeah, the rumor's true. We're going to get another bridge going across.
I don't think that's going to happen in my lifetime.
Oh, good, because they want to make that a toll.
It's something to talk about, but
Yeah.
you have to recognize that the highway infrastructure, once you get on the other side, has to change.
Can't handle it.
So
yeah.
when it backs up to exit 3 or exit 4, it's not the bridge.
No, it's not the bridge. And people joke about a tunnel going under, and they have maps for it. And catch it here. Sometimes they wish they had a tunnel and another bridge, but
Karen, I think that the railroad bridge, already the Cape Flyer,
Cape Flyer is so
Tom
successful.
Kerr put that together last year. It was a real gamble on his part. He staked his transportation reputation on it. He was pretty sure it was going to work, and he was right. It worked. And it's back on this year. That's the third bridge. I mean, it's already there.
Right. That goes straight from Boston down.
Rick, you are absolutely right. That is the third bridge.
Much easier and cheaper, and it's better for the environment and the economy if we add public transportation at the Hyannis stop, or at the Sandwich stop, or at the Wareham stop, so that when people can come down from Boston or connect from New York.
Or Barnstable stop. I wish they would stop there.
And that allows them to see the Cape and travel around, and it employs our local people.
Yes.
Oh,
we already have 3 bridges.
Absolutely right.
Right now, we only use one of them for trash.
You're absolutely right. And that is such a success, and I know my sister and Linda and Fred are so proud of that train line, because lots and lots of people are taking it.
They have a whole train car that's just dedicated to like bicycles, and so I mean, I think that's kind of the new way that people are looking at getting around. They're not needing to be in their car anymore. They're looking to, do some run or bike or whatever. So I think that's a great way
healthy
for people
communities.
to come down.
Yep, it's easier now and much healthier for you.
And they have internet on the train all the way down.
They do.
They do.
Oh, I
And
didn't
it's
know
free.
that. And food.
They have a
And
cafe
food.
card,
Yeah.
All righty. Now, I'm looking forward to it. I hope everybody is, because this is going to be a fantastic blowout. It's going to be a fantastic time. And thanks to you, the both of you, and everybody,
100 other volunteers that make it
other
work.
volunteers that made it work. And if I see you there, give you a
I'll be there.
little salute.
I'll be dressed like this. It'll be
By
easy to
the
spot.
way,
Pick 'em up.
weren't you handsome in that outfit?
What you don't know, Karen, is it was 18 degrees that day.
Ooh.
So we did the whole thing in one take, because if we didn't, my mouth was going to freeze solid.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that was a quick
terrible.
one.
Yeah. Thank you so
Karen,
much,
nice to
Rick.
see you.
Admiral Gurnon.
Gurnon, right.
Yes, Rick. Sue, honey. I love
Thank you so much for having us
Oh,
here.
anytime, hon. Now, next week, Steve Trifletti will be sitting in, and he has a great show. And I will say thank you very much. See you in 7. Oh, that went well. That went